Thank you, Rod. It's a New Year's Day game indoors as the Canucks embark on 2014 and the second half of their regular season with a visit by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Between the benches, Shane Knighty and Shane, John Tortorella with the U.S. Olympic team talked about today. Mentioned he thinks he has a defenseman that should be on the Canadian Olympic team.
Well, he had a lot of praise for Dan Hamhuis and the way he's played lately. Alexander Edler's been out of the lineup. Hamhuis has eaten up a lot of those minutes and been a rock for the Canucks on the back end. He's had last 6 games average over 25 minutes, 2 of those games over 30 minutes. So he's been really big for the Vancouver Canucks.
Season high 32-30 against Philadelphia in that 4-3 loss a couple of nights ago. Ryan Kesler will start along with Chris Higgins and Mike Santorelli against the veteran Marty St. Louis and a pair of rookies, Tyler Johnson and Andre Palat. And it's Palat with the puck in the Vancouver zone. Loose there, found by Hamhuis, and he'll send it out. Schuster is on defense along with Big Victor Hedman, who sends it in. And an icing call against Tampa. Tonight's game plan brought to you by Tim Hortons, official coffee of the NHL.
Well, Tampa wants to come out and capitalize on offensive opportunities. They can't turn away shots, especially the way the Canucks are playing defense. And for the Canucks, they just want to roll this over the month of December into January. They want to strike early on a Tampa team that's given up the goal 3 times, the first goal 3 times.
Face-off won by Henrik Sedin. The puck played in front of the net and gathered there by Tyler Johnson, the former Spokane Chief, and he has family here from Spokane to watch this game. Kevin Bieksa back in his own zone as the Lightning make the first change, and now a pass on the left side for Hansen. Had a pretty goal against Philadelphia, crashing in. Jannik Hansen, challenged by the coach about a week ago, and has responded with goals in each of the last 2 for Vancouver. He'll spin to the point. Garrison a blast, knocked down in front of the net, and Teddy Purcell away for the Lightning. Purcell on the ice along with Alex Killorn and Valtteri Filppula played out to center ice, and Henrik Sedin. David Booth off the bench with speed. Booth charging in, and Ben Bishop makes the stop on the former Florida Panther, who has 14 goals in 30 games against the Lightning.
Well, and one of his biggest assets is his speed, and David Booth uses it on this play to break in on the big Ben Bishop, but it started in their own zone. Quick transition, Garrison able to rim around the boards. Sedin handles it perfectly. Henrik just throws it up front. Booth comes through the middle with speed, trying to bring that to the backhand. Runs out of a little bit of room, but good speed to the outside. And a good job by Carl to take a little bit of that room away.
First chance for Vancouver, and now it's Brad Richardson sending it across. Tanev with a shot. Knocked away by Bishop. It'll be kept in by Hamhuis. Richard Connick's on the ice. The Tampa Bay Lightning deploying 7 defensemen, 11 forwards in this game. John Cooper has been doing that with regularity. Here's Connick on his off wing, just back in the Lightning lineup, swooping in. We saw Ryan Malone on the ice. He's back from an injury, and it has kept him out for the last 15 games. And with the 11 forwards, it gives Cooper a chance to double shift Marty St. Louis a bit. Here's Kucherov trying to bust in. Kucherov changing his number, now number 86. Played for the Russians in the World Junior Championship last year. 5 goals in 7 games in that tournament. Battling deep in Vancouver ice. Cote will move up, and he one-hands it to the corner. Hamhuis takes a hit, but gets rid of the puck. And the Canucks move it ahead. Here's Dalpe dropping it off. Play by Dale Weiss in behind the net. Sestito couldn't reach it. And is played by Kucherov. Weiss crashed in there to knock it down, hold it momentarily in the zone. And now flipped out by J.T. Brown.
Well, Weiss trying to get some energy for the Canucks early. Him and Sestito, a couple big hits. Weiss missed, but Sestito connected.
And of course, Sestito providing more than just energy against Philadelphia with a goal. Icing call against Vancouver. And Sestito with a pair of goals the last time he faced the Lightning as a member of the Philadelphia Flyers.
Well, it's always nice to score against your former team like it did Philly, and we take a look there. Weiss goes for the big hit as Kucherov just moves out of the way in time, and then Sestito comes over to finish the job as the line mates working together to provide some energy.
Kesler on this face-off against St. Louis. It is won by Tampa, face off an issue in the game against Philadelphia that led to the tying goal in the final minute, and something that John Tortorella was still doing a slow burn about this morning when talking about the recent play of his team. Attention to detail he talked about. They'll be paying a lot of attention to 26 here tonight as Marty St. Louis plays it in behind the net. That's Palat on the forecheck. Bieksa sending it off a Lightning player all the way down the ice. And Big Ben Bishop's out. Bishop top 5 in save percentage, goals against, and wins on the year. Here comes Phil Palat. His shot is blocked by Bieksa. They battle in the corner. Santorelli in support. Henrik Sedin can't push it by Matt Carl, who clubs it down. That's a hand pass that will halt play in the Canuck zone.
Oh, Chris, you're talking about Marty St. Louis. He just hasn't slowed down. The 38-year-old just continues to put up points each and every year. 60 points last year in the 48 games. And you know what? You just wonder, without Stamkos out of the lineup, but he continues to roll along at a point-a-game pace. And that is the reason, I'm sure Team Canada, his name might fall there coming up soon.
It's interesting listening to John Tortorella, his former coach today, was asked about St. Louis, and he said, I don't like talking about players on the other team, but out of respect for Marty St. Louis, I have to. With such admiration for the way he played in that John Tortorella coached Stanley Cup winning team, as Killorn testing Eddie Lack with a good shot. It'll come back to the point, and Carl fanned on it, and now trying to slow up Hansen. And Killorn bails out his defenseman and then hands it away. Right back onto the stick of Hansen in Tampa territory, and that pass to the point is intercepted by Filppula. Flip back in as both teams making turnovers in their own zone, and Radko Gudas, former Everett Silvertip, with a pass ahead that just got by Kucherov. JT Brown's in Vancouver territory. Nate Thompson crashing in, a former Seattle Thunderbird on the forecheck. Kucherov up with it as he took it away from Corrado. Brown gives it, Thompson shoots it, and a stop by Lack. Brown up with it again. Centering pass goes off a skate. Kucherov from the corner. It'll come back to the point. Barberio, and now JT Brown for Kucherov right in front of the net. And Thompson testing Lack. Traffic as Garrison knocks Kucherov right onto the goaltender, and up moves Vernon, BC native Eric Brewer back in the Lightning lineup. Here's Garrison sending it in front, looking for Booth, knocked away by Thompson. And you can see the Canucks getting hemmed into their own zone. Pretty good shift there by the third line of the Lightning. And now in the midst of a change as that puck slid by everybody. Here comes Panik. Richard Panik again on his off wing. He'll play it back to the point. Cote shot doesn't get through. Panik finds it. He'll spin it back to the point. Hedman sitting on 7 goals as the shot blocked by Sestito, and it swung to the near side for Weiss, knocked away by Cote. JP Cote, a good story. Played briefly for the Montreal Canadiens in the 05-06 season, and then almost 2,800 games or days before a return trip to the NHL as a member of the Lightning.
Oh, not a bad start either. 5 games, 3 assists in those 5 games.
Nice story for the journeyman who's been all over the American Hockey League, a couple of years in Germany, and finally getting a chance to return to the NHL. It's number 22 we're talking about. Cote leaving it for Hedman, and now Palat. Andre Palat stopped at center by Kessler. Good back pressure there by the newly named U.S. Olympian, Ryan Kessler. Sent around off Santorelli, and out comes Kessler. Looking for Higgins inside the line. Santorelli catching up on the play, but now Tyler Johnson sending back Palat. Here's Andre Palat with a shot, and Lack with the save, and up onto the netting. Quick start, 6:55 in, no score. Lightning and Canucks. Well, Coach John Cooper borrowing a page from Tampa Rays manager Joe Madden on the trip out west with more Ryan Rajaj.
Yeah, Chris, absolutely. He asked his players to reach back into their past and bring a jersey with them from their hockey past and wear it on the flight from Tampa Bay to Vancouver. So most of the players did, and there's a look. You can't see anybody up too close, but Matt Carl is wearing one from the Alaska All-Stars. Sammy Salo had one sent out from Finland. Eric Brewer wearing a Prince George Cougars one as well. And Chris, they came out a full 2 days early because they needed to get used to a 3-hour time change. It's 10 p.m. for this Tampa Bay team.
Well, looks like they're off to a pretty good start. Starts Shane Hepp, an issue for the Lightning as Eddie Lack gloves that shot down with Killorn parked on the doorstep. A big day for John Cooper, coaching in BC for the first time, a native of Prince George.
Oh, it's always exciting to come and for him to coach out west, but his team has had a much better start. He talked about coming out tonight and playing better. He said going into the break they won 5 straight, and that break kind of slowed them down. They've lost 2 since, but they wanted to come here in Vancouver, and probably a little bit for their coach. Maybe the players got some extra jump to start this game.
5-0-1 until a 4-3 loss against the New York Rangers. Lost in a shootout against Montreal and the 4-3 defeat against New York since Christmas after winning 5 in a row into the Christmas holiday. But this team has stayed upright even with that broken leg for Steven Stamkos, and they are tied for second in the Atlantic Division.
Well, and Mike Santorelli, what a season he's having this year. He found his spot here, came in a tryout, worked his way into this team, and 27 points through 41 games. And off to a fantastic start. Last year split the season with Florida and Winnipeg and only had 4 points through 34 games, but he has really found a home here, the BC native.
Santorelli tied for the team lead in the month of December with 10 points, along with Daniel Sedin and Jason Garrison. Cam Hughes hit along the boards. Lightning are up with the puck. There's Schuster trying to get it out, the big defenseman. One of a number of players with under 50 games experience, but a lot of them have played under John Cooper's system in the American Hockey League. Out they break with Teddy Purcell. Nice pass. Hedman jumping up in the rush, and we've seen more of that under Cooper. Hedman sends it across, and Santorelli finds it and springs Kessler to the attack with Higgins. Ryan Kessler's shot deflecting wide of the net. Schuster plays it along the boards, and Bieksa has moved up. Both defenses playing aggressively early, and it's sent past Bieksa down inside the Vancouver line. Here's a lead feed. Bieksa was on the far side of the ice. It slides through to Bishop. He'll do some stick handling. Look out! Got tied up there, and Bishop lost his footing under that pressure from Daniel Sedin.
Oh, possibly maybe a little bit too much stick handling for the big netminder there as Daniel Sedin was able to hook him up.
Here comes Jannik Hansen trying to get through center. He'll turn it over there. Tyler Johnson with the counterattack. Salouin called for it, then gets it to Brewer. Andre Palat chipping it behind the net. Knocked away from Johnson by Jason Garrison. Now flipped in behind the net again. There's Johnson in front, and Palat off the short side. May have hit the side of the net. Eddie Lack had it covered. Now a shot the other side, and Eddie Lack's got that. The glove stop off Tyler Johnson.
Well, Tampa continuing to press here. Eddie Lack's made some good saves, and the top line, Johnson along with St. Louis and Palat just worked the puck around, and Tyler Johnson led top scorer in the American Hockey League last year, MVP, and a great pass from behind the net as Tampa works his puck back down low, and just a no-look one-touch pass as Palat's coming to the net. Great backhand play by Tyler Johnson. But Eddie Lack able to make the save, and then Johnson opens himself up for the one-timer.
And John Tortorella's seen enough here in the opening minutes of this game, and prior to the midway mark of the period, he's called a timeout.
Well, and I think he has. And we mentioned it, Tampa's been pouring it on, and talking to a couple of the guys this morning, they said, you know, John Tortorella, he came in this year, everybody's wondering what to expect, said he's been really good. They said he's got a great feel for the team, and they said in between periods, he does a great job knowing what to say to get them going, to motivate them, or to encourage them along. And this timeout, just another example of him knowing his team and a right time to call a timeout as Tampa Bay has carried the play.
Lightning with 8 shots in the opening 9 minutes of this game, 8-4. They have an edge in that department. but Eddie Lack's been the best Vancouver Canuck so far. On the face-off, Richardson keeps it along the boards, works over J.T. Brown, a pass for Thompson, and a shot by Barberio off Lack and up onto the glass in behind the net as Lack just got a piece of that from Mark Barberio. Barberio looking for his first NHL goal, a guy who has had some offensive numbers in the American Hockey League on defense with 30 goals in his last 3 years. Now Booth sends it to the Vancouver line. Gudas up ahead, and Tanev just got a stick on that with Kucherov loose. Now Chris Tanev will start the Canucks out. The pass for Kessler, a good one inside the line. He is surrounded. Now Higgins is after it. And Higgins will shovel it in behind the net. Santorelli's there. He tried to get back to Higgins. It bounced on him. And Panik away. He'll be cut off by Weber. There's a shot that goes off Weber. And Marty St. Louis after it. 950 points for St. Louis, who moved over 1,000 games of experience back in November, hitting that milestone. Here's Malone back in the lineup, sending it to the side of the net where Panik was knocked down. Schuster will dump it back in, and the puck out of play. So we passed the midway mark of the opening period. We're still scoreless in Vancouver.
Look at Ben Bishop and Eddie Lack, two goaltenders. Lack's been the busier of the two so far in this hockey game, but both have put up fabulous numbers. Eddie Lack coming in relief for the injured Roberto Luongo, and Ben Bishop has been fantastic, and need to look no further than their last 6 starts. Absolutely outstanding numbers from both netminders as Eddie Lack getting the opportunity, and Ben Bishop continues to help carry this Tampa Lightning team.
Disappointing day for Bishop as he is not named to the U.S. Olympic team. We talked to him this morning. He was still hoping, even though there had been a report about 48 hours ago that he would not be part of the team, and he said at least that helped him prepare for the disappointment and maybe help him be more focused on this game tonight. But he definitely wanted to be a part of the team headed to Sochi, and the numbers certainly made a pretty good case for him.
Well, he has been really good, and John Cooper has mentioned that his goaltending has just been fantastic and one of the keys to their success in that first half.
Instead, it's Ryan Miller, Jonathan Quick, and Jimmy Howard. The latter two have suffered injuries this year, but they get the nod over the less experienced Bishop. Here's Purcell turning in the Vancouver zone, and then is checked on the play, and that puck hopping over the stick of Hansen, who looked like he had a partial break. Filppula back in his own zone. He's been a terrific pickup from the Detroit Red Wings. Puck out to center. Valtteri Filppula with 30 points, 14 goals already this season. He's given Steve Yzerman everything he would have expected. Tanev in his own zone. There's Thompson behind the net. This third line for the Lightning has been a handful in this opening period. Now Hedman out at center, and there's Thompson for Kucherov and Brown, and Kucherov trying to break in. Brown unable to follow up, and it comes back out to center. Booth can't get loose, and Hamhuis will try and get organized. Now some nice passing between Richardson on the right side. Kassian goes down. He's shaken up. Booth with the shot. Bishop will hold on, and Zach Kassian took a high stick, and now the sticks get high with Richardson.
Oh, Kassian upset, is looking for some blood as he's carrying the puck in. He's falling, catches a little bit of a stick from J.T. Brown as he's going down. Richardson comes over to stick up for his teammate, but Kassian seems all right. No call on the play.
Think of this recent stretch for Vancouver, Shane. What's been impressive is each line is really contributing the role that you expect from a first or second line in the case of the Sedins or the Kessler line. And then that third line starting to come along, and the fourth line being lauded today by John Tortorella for the contributions they have made.
Well, when you look at any of the top teams in the league, they're always talking about their depth and the ability to use 4 lines.
Here's Santorelli up high for Kessler. Now the shot that hit a stick And Palat turns. He'll send it ahead. And Filppula over the line with St. Louis. Back to Filppula. Banned on that shot. It'll come around for Brewer. Knocked down by Kessler, and Ryan Kessler has Higgins loose. Couldn't get him the puck as Chris Higgins was open on the left side, and now an offside for Vancouver at the Tampa line. The NHL on TSN is brought to you by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Well, Tampa Bay is really trying to engage the rush. Barberio joins the rush, the fourth man. It's a four-man attack. They come in, and then mentioned Tampa wanting to get a good start, and they're flying. They're really stretching the zone early in this game.
Well, if you don't watch the Lightning a whole lot, you need a program, but they've given you an indication here in the opening 14 minutes of this game that there's a reason they are among the leaders in the Atlantic.
John Cooper talked about it. He said he liked about his team is the consistent effort. He said maybe a handful of games that's all he could think about that they didn't have that consistency.
Tyler Johnson on the ice with Malone and Panik this time. As moved into the zone, a pass broken up by Matt Carl, veteran defenseman out of Alaska. Starts the play. Now Purcell and Killorn move in. Alex Killorn tied up by Henrik Sedin along the boards. Captain working there, and out it comes for Garrison. And Tanev up ahead for Hansen on that right side. And Filppula will intercept. Radko Gudas, Matt Carl moving it up, and now flipped in. Purcell will go after it against Jason Garrison. He'll backhand it around, and it's knocked ahead, and here's Henrik with a partial break. Henrik and Daniel to the attack. Daniel over the line. Hansen follows. Swept it in behind Henrik Sedin. Purcell flipping it through center. Victor Hedman up top. And he'll roll it in and go off on a change. Amhuis and Bieksa have been playing together in this first period. And it's Kevin Bieksa sending it down the ice. Catching up to it is Cassian. Centers a Booth. Backhands it wide. Just tied up at the last second as Hedman got back in the nick of time. Now JT Brown hit in front of the Canuck bench. Here's Nate Thompson looking for Schuster, and the puck bouncing. And Schuster still in. Thompson in front, and again the puck bouncing. We playing an outdoor game here, Shane?
I was just going to say, the puck needs to be frozen.
I think snow's a problem, but boy, it is bouncing around a lot. And now it's bounced wide of the net. And again, this third line for Tampa's been good so far tonight. Kucherov one-hands it in front. And Kevin Bieksa will take over. Canucks changing as Palat reaches for it, and it deflects over the glass just a moment or so ago. A chance for the Canucks as David Booth goes to the net, and Hedman gets back just in time. 2014 World Junior Championship continues on TSN tomorrow. Quarterfinal action. Team Canada against the Swiss. 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. .425 remaining. Opening period, 9-6. Shots favor the Lightning. Still no score, and a face-off win by the Canucks in their own zone. And here's a loose puck. Johnson with a shot going high. Tyler Johnson tied for third among rookies in goals, fourth in points. And now Kessler is spilled. Still a break. Coming in. A shot by Higgins. Richardson up on the play, and the first penalty of the game is going against the Lightning on the trip as Ryan Kessler was upended.
Well, Matt Carl was trying to keep the puck in. He dove to keep it in. He probably should have stayed on his feet and tried to just let it go outside the zone and regain it, but got caught out of position as he dove to keep the puck in the zone. Then after that, the follow-up on Kessler got the trip, but they still got the 2-on-1 in the shot from Higgins and the save by Bishop.
Penalty kill an issue for the Lightning in that loss against the Rangers as they gave up 3 power play goals. They were 0 for 3 on the PK in their last game. Vancouver 1 for 17 in their last half dozen games. A face-off win for Henrik Sedin out there with Kessler and Daniel. Hamhuis and Garrison. And the shot in front, Kessler got a whack at it on the doorstep. Daniel's got it again. Nate Thompson starts on the penalty kill with J.T. Brown. Up top, Hamhuis looked at Garrison, went the other way, and now Garrison moves up and has the puck. He'll send it around to the far side, and Henrik's got it. Kessler to the side of the net, Daniel in the slot. The seam pass comes back for Garrison. Around behind the net, Victor Hedman misses it. Now Kessler back to Henrik, and Daniel behind the net. Returns it to his brother. Henrik without a goal in the last 6. It'll be Hamhuis to Garrison. And back. And the shot is deflected, loose in front. Schuster tried to glove it away. Henrik warded off Nate Thompson, and now he has control. Daniel behind the net, and a nice sweep check there by the goaltender Bishop. As Daniel thought about a wraparound, and Bishop denied it. Puck out of play.
Well, Bishop 6'7". He has a little bit of a span there to use that poke check, but right off the play, the Canucks here, their power play's been struggling to do that. See on the sidewall, just a little cycle there, the Sedins, and then throwing the puck to the net. Got Kessler in front. He gets 2 whacks at it. When things aren't going right for your power play, you just try to simplify, and from there, things will open up in other areas to make low plays and plays through the seam.
Weber now at the point. He winds and fires, and that blast explodes off the inboards wide. Back to Bieksa. And over to Weber again. We saw them do a lot of work this morning, Shane, on a set play on the power play.
Well, they do about 3 set plays all in a row, repetition.
Here's Bieksa giving it up, and that rookie Tyler Johnson there in a penalty killing role this time. Able to knock it away. Back in, invade the Canucks. Higgins shot off a skate. Bieksa leads into that. Loose in front of the net, and Higgins will get it back. Kevin Bieksa with 49 NHL goals. A shot, and it bounced into the glove. A skipping stone into the glove of Ben Bishop.
Well, we talked about how well Ben Bishop's played. We talked about 6'7". Not many goalies have that ability. When you're in front, usually a goalie's trying to look around a player to see through traffic. Ben Bishop has the ability to look over. Hansen's in front, takes a little peek over top of the helmet, and then able to make the save. He is a big, big man and covers a lot of room in that net.
Dozen seconds remain in the penalty to Matt Carl. Vancouver wins an offensive zone face-off. Tanev gets it across. Hamhuis to Daniel, and now Kessler as John Tortorella has his power play out at the very end. And now Carl back on the ice. That shot goes wide. They generated 3 shots, but no breakthrough against Ben Bishop on the first power play of the game. Daniel stumbles at the line. They get it to Kessler. Unable to get loose, but Kessler after it, chops it deeper. Here's Daniel. Firing it around, cut off by Carl, but Kessler looking to get it back. Marty St. Louis helping out defensively, and Carl back to Brewer. Canucks try to hem in the Lightning. It's to the line, and Hamhuis unable to hold the zone. Finally out, and St. Louis will take charge. 80 seconds left here in the first.
Come down, come down!
Eric Brewer with plenty of family here from Vernon for this game. The former 2002 Olympian for Canada. Purcell dumps it in and gives chase against Bieksa. Filppula up with the puck. Along the boards, he loses it. And back comes Booth, ahead to Kassian. Zach Kassian, watched by Hedman. He'll swing it back to the left point to Jason Garrison. Gives off to Booth, his shot right on, loose, and down, loose puck, cleared away by Ryan Malone. And Bishop still not on his feet, a little slow to get up there. And the Lightning get it out of there. Killorn back the other way, Hedman follows, and that shot off the target. Not sure if Bishop was shaken up on the play, but a long time to get to his feet. Kassian with a dangle and a weak backhand. As Kassian gets fancy in the final minute.
Well, he was the one that was causing problems right in front of Bishop.
took a heavy hit there and looked to the official, no call. There's another puck bouncing on J.T. Brown. Collects it, fires it right on Eddie Lack with Ryan Malone on the doorstep. Good pace to this opening period, but no score through 20 minutes. And the Canucks with a late rally to even the shots at 11 apiece, and they come close in the final minute. One last look as Bishop does the snow angel, and the Canucks can't get it by him. So scoreless after one here in Vancouver as we head back to Toronto and Rod Smith. Finished by the Canucks, and in between, Shane, a timeout by John Tortorella that might have shifted the momentum.
Well, I think it was a timely call by the coach to kind of wake up his team. But yeah, Tampa Bay came out and they executed what they wanted on the road. They came out, they were able to fire a lot of pucks towards Eddie Lack. Some turnovers, a little bit of sloppy play, which we haven't seen from Vancouver lately. But Tampa was able to pounce on it. Eddie Lack was able to keep it out. Mentioned the timeout by John Tortorella, and it wasn't really a yelling one. It was more just kind of encouragement to wake the guys up, get them going, and they did after that, able to generate some chances. Cassian did some good job. Hansen, they got traffic to the net. They started shooting the puck a little bit more, finding those open seams and using speed down the walls as they're trying to get in the face of Ben Bishop, which isn't an easy thing to do, but he's a big goalie. You got to continue to get in that hard area right on top of the blue paint.
Well, I know you talked to Dan Hamhuis about John Tortorella and the way he can measure the temperature of his team. A breakaway pass for St. Louis right from the get-go on a set play, but play is called.
Yeah, and you said that. I think that's the big thing that Hamhuis mentioned about Tortorella is he curbed that emotion a little bit as we look at John Cooper, the coach at Tampa Bay, that's talked about his team in that first half. There's been some surprise from the outside, and he said it's up to his team now to prove that the first half wasn't a fluke, that to continue that type of play.
Broken stick on that face-off for Johnson. And so the Canucks will try and take advantage of that. Higgins works along the boards. Kessler looked for it. Johnson without a stick. Couldn't reach it. Can't clear. Santorelli a shot, and Bishop will hold on to that. Let's check back in with Ryan Rishaug.
Chris, I spoke with Canucks assistant coach Mike Sullivan at the break. The message they gave their team at the intermission was much the same as the one they gave them during the timeouts. Felt they weren't nearly emotionally invested enough in this hockey game. This was no adjustments as far as X's and O's goes. It was a big time kick in the butt. They felt their players were better towards the end of the period, but he feels they emotionally can give a lot more in this game tonight, Chris. One positive from the stat sheets, 10 blocked shots for the Canucks in that first period.
Over 10 minutes of play for Dan Hamhuis, the workhorse in that opening period. Here's Filppula onto the right side. Then his personal shot doesn't get through. Filppula battling in the corner. Comes up with a puck, feeds it back to Cote. J.P. Cote. And that's snared by Lack with some traffic in the blue paint.
Well, both goaltenders, you look around the league, if you want to score goals in the NHL, you got to get in that hard area. And you mentioned right on top of the blue paint, Chris, and seen a lot of traffic at the other end in Bishop. And same thing with Eddie Lack. Goaltenders too good. If they can see the puck, especially these goaltenders, when you look at their goals against average, both under 2, they're going to make the stop if they can see it.
A couple of goaltenders that don't mind chatting in the morning skate too, which is rather refreshing. I don't think Eddie Lack would mind talking to you a half hour before the game. He's just a loose personality, and Bishop's not much different. Here comes Killorn over the line. A pass for Filppula, walks in, and a stop by Lack, who came out aggressively to cut the angle down on Valtteri Filppula.
Well, you're just talking about that calm demeanor, not afraid to talk. I think that carries to the ice. One of the strengths of Eddie Lack is he doesn't get rattled easily. And a nice play here, a little middle lane drive, and then the shot from the outside. And Eddie Lack does a great job, comes out, challenges a shot by Filppula, makes the save, not much room there, and then covers the rebound. No rebound at all as he hops on top of the puck.
Here's that fourth line that John Cooper puts together with his extra 2 forwards, Malone and Panik. And Marty St. Louis will take another extra turn. But the Canucks away with the puck. Cassian lost an edge. Not sure if he's got a skate issue or not, as he fell all alone. Here's Malone back in, and a shot that's handled by Lack, who's down. Malone comes up with a rebound, feeds Eric Brewer, sends it across Barberio, and that's off Tanev. And ricochets out of play. Another block shot for the Vancouver defense.
Well, they're doing a good job blocking the shots. It's just the breakouts out of their zone. Vancouver, the pressure from Tampa, creating the turnovers, and a chance by Malone on that as Tanev was the guilty party to turn it over for Vancouver on that last play. Just needs stronger plays along the wall. This puck has to get out of the zone. They don't do it, and Malone's able to walk in. Little short side shot as he tries to go over the shoulder, but this is what Vancouver does. If you play for John Tortorella, you got to block shots. Just look at the Rangers the last couple seasons.
Canucks sent out their fourth line. That's some good work by Dale Weiss. Nearly caught Bishop out of the net. And now Bishop will freeze the puck with Dolphy on the doorstep, and the fourth liners for Vancouver causing a bit of confusion in the Tampa zone.
Well, they're trying to get some emotion. Dale Weiss in. Again, Bishop, he was caught in the first period wandering a bit out of the net, and this time a great job by Nate Thompson to come back and clear that puck out of harm's way as he was in front of the net, allowed his netminder to get back in position.
I don't know if Ben Bishop's in the Mike Smith stick handling category yet. Weber from the faceoff, a shot right on, and Sestito was on the doorstep. I mentioned Sestito with a couple of goals in his last game as a Philadelphia Flyer against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they were both beauties. A backhand 5-hole move for Sestito, and his reward he mentioned this morning was that he got sat for the next 15 games. Figure that out.
That's why I didn't score 2 in one game.
That puck turned over at the line. Kucherov moving back in. Nikita Kucherov to his back, and a centering pass, and Dolphy got a piece of that. Now Schuster in. He centers, and Kucherov unable to reach that to get a shot away. Schuster again in deep. Looks for Kucherov. That hit the back of the net. Ricocheted to Schuster. Up top, and a one-timer by Johnson blocked. Rebound, and he shot it wide. On the second chance, as the first block by Tanev seemed to shake him up momentarily. And now Hedman fans on that shot that rolls back into the Lightning zone. Victor Hedman telling me this morning that Matthias Ohlund, although not in the Tampa lineup, still recovering from injury, has been a tremendous mentor for him. Almost working like another coach. A giveaway by Bishop there, and Higgins almost had a gaping net. So Ben Bishop continues to be an adventure handling the puck. Here's Hedman. And his pocket picked by Kessler. And now Higgins is away. Johnson held on to him. And Hedman got back, and I think Tyler Johnson got away with one there. Andre Palat over the line. Here's St. Louis walking in. Palat backhand, and he chipped it just wide of the net. And now a penalty upcoming against Vancouver.
Well, a little bit of excitement both ways. Looks like Vancouver is going to get a penalty here, and Tampa will get a power play. But a good job on the rush. Marty St. Louis, so good at his vision. He's able to find Palat cutting the net. Nice job by Hamhuis to get back. We talked about 6 on pucks for the Canucks. Good job taking that chance away from Palat.
So the slash against Bieksa, and Tanev, we mentioned, looked like he might have been shaken up off a block shot, and he is now headed down to the Canuck room.
Well, it was off that one-timer by Tyler Johnson off to the side, and he got in the shot lane, but caught it up a little bit high, I think, in the chest area.
Just what the Canucks need, another defenseman injured with out Edler and Stanton and Andrew Alberts, all out of the lineup at the moment. First power play of the night for the Lightning has Filppula, St. Louis, Purcell, Johnson and Hedman, 4 forwards. Wouldn't they love to have Steven Stamkos out there? St. Louis tried to jam play. That was blocked as Hamhuis sprawls. Now back to Hedman, who has 7 goals on the year, using that long reach to hold the zone. Now St. Louis, watched by Weber. Off the boards, loose in front. Johnson all alone. Stopped by Lack as he bobbled the puck and was unable to quickly pull the trigger. Now Filppula back to the point, and that's out of the reach of Hedman and down the ice.
Well, almost a chance for Tampa. They're up against the #1 penalty kill in the league, which Vancouver has.
Canucks have killed 51 of 56 at home this season. Here's Filppula dropping it off. Hedman with a little room. Now Johnson to St. Louis. That A unit stays out. Then another pass for Johnson, skipped over his stick. Johnson's been open a couple of times on this near side. St. Louis can't dangle against Garrison, who takes it away. And Henrik will start out. Here's Henrik through center. Gets it to Daniel. Short-handed chance. And a shot drifting wide. Now Palat back to retrieve it with 20 seconds remaining in the Bieksa penalty. Tried to go all the way and checked in. It's sent back to the Lightning line. Radko Gudas, who won a game in overtime recently against Carolina. He'll turn it back into Vancouver ice. Tried to drop it off for Carl. That's intercepted. Away goes Higgins. And Bieksa is out of the box. Ryan Kessler along with Higgins. Moving up his Hamhuis, and he'll chop it in behind the net. Now Cassian digs after it. Along the boards, unable to hook up with Kessler. Gudas plays it to Kucherov. Gudas gets hit. And away goes Killorn. Alex Killorn, the Halifax native, shot and kicked out by Lack. Rebound got past Palat. And the other way goes David Booth. Killorn knocked it off his stick. Cassian follows, and Bishop stops that as Zach Cassian gets a chance. A second shy of the 6-minute mark here in period number 2.
Well, good chance by the Vancouver Canucks as David Booth able to get a burst of speed up the middle, and Cassian able to pick that up and get a shot on Bishop. Started their own end, just speed up the middle, trying to cut the ice in half. Booth held up, catches 3 Tampa Bay Lightnings. They're all puck focused. I don't recognize Cassian coming in late as he has an open shot to the net from the high slot.
Frank Corrado, just over 2 minutes of play in the first period, is out there now with Kevin Bieksa. Ryan Malone sends it to the far side. Nate Thompson chased it, but Bieksa laid it away from him. And now Eric Brewer at the controls. Looks for Panik, the former Belleville Bull gets it in. Thompson after it against Bieksa. Sent around the board. Brewer steps up, but can't get it out. Reese unable to clear. Here's Panik in, and a stop by Lakoff. Richard Panik. Good chance there as the Canucks couldn't get it out. Now to the attack. 2-on-1. Dale Weiss in, and Bishop stop. Rebound. Oh, what a chance for Sestito, as he had a chance to go back-to-back games with a goal. Fourth line with the best chance of the night. And a couple of good ones. Weiss and Sestito can't find a way to beat Ben Bishop. Now Cassian knocked away by Hedman. It'll be held in at the line. It'll be Palat return, and he fanned on the shot. Now a backhand kicked away by Lack. Moving up was Barbario, and Hedman came across to swipe it off the stick of Booth.
Well, it's sure opened up here lately. A couple of great chances at both ends of the ice.
Now it deflects off Booth in behind the net. It'll be played around by Bishop. And the Lightning get it out. Filppula reaching for it. Unable to control it, but St. Louis is on it. Then he'll dash back in with Filppula. Shot, and that's turned aside. Up onto the netting by Eddie Lack. Good goaltending for Lack and Ben Bishop at the other end with a couple of big stops.
Well, Dale Weiss had an exciting shift last time he was on the ice. Started in his own zone. A little bit of spin around, no look pass, turned the puck over, and then a nice chance for Panik in tight. Eddie Lack makes the save. Right after that play, they come 2-on-1. A great feed. Dale Weiss in all alone, and then Sestito, great chance, and puts it up and over. Brewer may have been able to get a stick there to deflect that puck high.
Canucks ranked 4th defensive, Lightning 6. No score in the game, but lots of chances. There's Filppula shooting wide. 10-9 we have the chances favoring Vancouver, but it's been a push by the Lightning here in the second. 11 shots for Tampa in the second period. That one bouncing wide of the net, loose in front, and Hansen there to clear from the front of the net. Killorn with good pressure to get it back. And the Canucks finally able to get it out and move north into Lightning ice. Sedin's out there with Hansen, who tries to center. Ricochets to Purcell, and away goes Killorn. Halifax native over the line. And check from behind. It'll be Daniel off the boards, up to Henrik. Hansen catching up on the play. Edmund watching Henrik and takes it away from the Canuck captain and clears. Chris Tanev is back, so no damage after the block shot early in the period. Some traffic in front of the bench as Higgins took that pass off the change. There's Santorelli up with it. He'll swing it back to Tanev. And the wrist shot through went wide. Through a heavy traffic in front. And now up with it, Santorelli for Kessler. Trying to bump the goal-scoring drought, Ryan Kessler, as the shot through was turned away by Bishop. Santorelli recovers the rebound. Gets it to Kessler in the corner once again. Leaned on there by Thompson. Edmund tries to tie up his man. Gudas is upended. And that's going to be an offensive zone penalty against Vancouver as Radko Gudas is dumped.
Well, those are the penalties you never want to see, but it's Chris Higgins in deep. The puck's there, and he gets his stick into the feet of Gudas. And Tampa Bay goes back on the power play. It's a battle in there. Edmund and Higgins just swipes for the puck, gets his blade right underneath the skate of Gudas. As Tampa Bay gets another chance here to open up scoring.
Lightning just 21st on the power play. Of course, missing a guy who had 13 goals in 17 games. Steven Stamkos, who is on the trip.
Well, he skated again after the group today, and you mentioned any power play, it's going to fall a little bit when you lose somebody of that caliber.
Unbelievable that they still continue to discuss the possibility of Stamkos playing for Team Canada at the Olympics, despite suffering a broken leg on November the 11th. Here's Filppula and St. Louis to work. Marty at 950 career points. Canucks turn the bat. And over the boards come the Sedins as Bishop fires it ahead. Filppula unable to handle it as Filppula and St. Louis were loose at the Vancouver line. Now Garrison through center. That's knocked down. And that is offside. St. Louis just trapped as Purcell played the puck at the Vancouver line. Well, a new face of evil will be revealed when the following, starring Kevin Bacon, returns this January to CTV. .41 seconds gone in the penalty to Chris Higgins as we approach the midway mark of the second period. Evan Bieksa will fire that off the boards. Matt Carl knocked it down. Holds the zone. Now Garrison will try the other side. And waiting there is Gudas. Radko Gudas up with it. And that pass into the skates of Sedin. It doesn't come out. And now it's Palat with it. Carl across. Gudas sends it to the right wing. Down low for Killorn. Kucherov back up to the point. Second power play unit on. Moving in to the slot. Palat shot it wide. Killorn retrieves the rebound. Kucherov to Palat. Missed the pass, and the Canucks able to clear.
Well, the Canucks do a good job at forcing on the right time.
Now a quick lead up to Kucherov, and it knocked away from him as Hamhuis recovered quickly, and now will spin it around. Gudas arrives at the right point to hold it in. Brad Richardson a whack at it. Can't get it past Gudas, who holds it one more time. Down to 10 seconds remaining in the penalty. It's out for Kessler, too far, but sliding back into Lightning ice as Higgins gets set to return, and Tampa Bay without a shot on that second power play. Paddock hit at center ice. Good solid check there by Hamhuis. A break, Richardson in, scores! Brad Richardson has the icebreaker for Vancouver.
Well, we talked about Dan Hamhuis coming into the show. What a rock he's been. He's the one who helps make this play happen. A great job stepping up in the neutral zone as Richardson's able to benefit They try the quick up. Hamhuis, a good hip check in the middle of the ice. That creates a turnover. A little shovel pass up to Richardson. He comes down and he beats Bishop short side past the blocker. As this is a huge goal. Finally able to beat Ben Bishop and open up the game.
So Brad Richardson has his 8th of the year. Third line center has the opening goal tonight. And the Canucks have a 1-0 lead. Killorn takes it back, and now Filppula heads in. Valtteri Filppula dropping it off. Cote flips it to the corner. And there is Dan Hamhuis. Season high, 30 minutes, 32 seconds against Philadelphia. And he mentioned off the top of the show an endorsement from his American-born coach for a place on Team Canada at the Olympic Games. Now a turnover, and back in come the Sedins. Henrik drifted that inches wide, and it ricochets out to center. Chris Higgins, the lone assist on the goal by Richardson at 11:25. Kevin Bieksa up for Henrik Sedin, and St. Louis comes back to take over for the Lightning. Young Palat played in the Quebec League with Drummondville. And now chased down by Hansen. Daniel follows up in the corner, ties up his man, and comes up with a puck. Henrik in support. He gets worked over there by Cote. The battle continues along the boards. Great work by the Sedins. Comes loose for Hansen. He'll flip it back to Garrison. Jason Garrison, a wrist shot wide. And a penalty against the Lightning on the pressure. It's like a holding the stick penalty coming up as Brad Richardson has broken the ice here.
Vancouver going to the power play. Shot by Garrison, the point on the back of the play. JP Cote gets his stick wrapped around Henrik Sedin, and 2 minutes for holding the stick as the Canucks will have a chance here to extend their lead. It was their penalty kill that did a good job that allowed them to get that goal after killing a couple penalties, and Richardson capitalized. Now hopefully their power play can come to life.
Pretty good board work there by the Sedins, causing the pressure that led to the penalty, and now they're out along with Kessler, Garrison, and Hamhuis. Nate Thompson on the draw, won though by Vancouver. And now Kessler, Garrison winds, and a blast just missed. Jason Garrison really leaned into that. Hamhuis again. Garrison again, right on. Bishop kicks it out. The rebound to JT Brown. And now Brewer in support. Hedman will lug it out. Victor Hedman takes a hit there from Hamhuis. Hamhuis with the hit that led to the first goal, and now he'll lead the Canucks out of the zone. Daniel for Henrik down the left side. Gudas got back, and the Lightning will send it 200 feet. Johnson and Palat, a couple of rookies, out on the penalty kill, and now Johnson heads off. And the first minute of the Cote minor is done. Santorelli to work. Left wing pass is knocked down, and off St. Louis back out to center. Weber and Bieksa now the point men on the power play for Vancouver. Bieksa fires it in. Matt Carl and Gudas wrap around and send it the length of the ice. Weber at the controls. Bieksa at the red line dumps it in. Santorelli gives chase. Leans on Eric Brewer. Hansen reaching for it, knocked away from him, and cleared once again by the Lightning.
Well, Vancouver having trouble here, other than those opening two shots from Garrison, haven't been able to get set up in zone.
Last call, under 10 seconds remaining on this power play. Brewer intercepts a pass, and he'll dump it down one more time. The Lightning needed that roadkill after giving up the opening goal to Richardson moments earlier. Janet through center. Over on the other side to the goal scorer, Richardson, who has 2 in his last 4. Had a goal against Winnipeg in the final game before Christmas. Alex Killorn away. And Purcell across. Filppula walks in, scores! Valtteri Filppula, and the game is tied.
Well, Vancouver was able to do it after a couple penalty kills. Now Tampa Bay, they kill off the penalty and then they do a good job on the rush. Couple great plays in zone, and Filppula able to finish it off. But as in their own zone, the Canucks keep it in. Good job jumping out of the zone as Killorn. Little dish pass to Purcell. He finds Filppula late, and he just beats Lack. Blocker side, both goals coming on the short side. Great shot by Filppula. Uses the defenseman as a screen right between Booth's legs, and it's tied up.
15 goals already for Valtteri Filppula, who had only 17 points all of last year. Killorn and Purcell on the assists at 15-27, so just over 4 minutes after the opening goal by Richardson, a response from the Lightning. Detroit let Filppula go. They signed Stephen Weiss, and now here's Palat with Johnson in front, scores! And just like that, the Lightning lead as Tyler Johnson has scored for Tampa Bay. 20 seconds between goals. Filppula first, and now Tyler Johnson, and it's 2-1 Tampa Bay.
Well, Tampa wins the battles. Talk about winning the battle along the boards. They win the battle in their zone, up the boards. Great job by Palat. Takes off to the races. Can't be kept in. And a great job, Johnson. Drives the net, stick down. Palat outweights Garrison as he slides to take away the pass. And Johnson able to slide that home. And we looked at this top line. You mentioned Stamkos out. Who's St. Louis playing with? Tyler Johnson and Andre Palat. Well, two young rookies that have a little bit of skill.
So Johnson now with 11 goals and 22 points, so he's 3 off the rookie lead in the point department, the former Spokane Chief, who used to come to Vancouver in the offseason. There's a chance, scores! Zach Dalpe! And just like that, it's tied as Dalpe has his first ever Vancouver Canuck.
Well, John Cooper is upset over something as the officials, I think he thinks this was an icing call. He is extremely upset. The puck was fired down the ice. No one touched it.
Lightning asking, or even there, we're looking for the icing call, and then the turnover that results in Dalpe's finish.
On a great feed by Dale Weiss to Dalpe to get that first goal.
Didn't look like there was any contact there, and John Cooper may have a case, but Dalpe's got the equalizer. Back in again, just shooting wide. John Tortorella mentioning this morning that Zach Dalpe is gaining some confidence, a little more relaxed in a Vancouver uniform, playing better, and now has a reward. And back in comes the fourth line. Sestino in front. It'll come to Hamhuis, and he shot it wide. Bishop dropped his stick and retrieves that in the goal crease. And what a flurry. First goals 20 seconds apart by the Lightning. And then a minute 14 later, it's an equalizer. Or check that, 14 seconds later, the equalizer by Dalpe. So the goals coming fast and furious here in the late stages of the second period. And back in comes Hansen. Hansen cutting in front, stopped by Bishop. And the rebound to Henrik. Daniel behind the net, trying to come out in front, and unable to do so against Gudas. It'll be kept in by Weber, who drips it wide. Kucherov reaches for it and comes up with it, and now goes to the attack, working against Garrison. Out of the reach of Hedman. Nate Thompson in his skates, and Hansen gets it out.
Well, they've opened this game up after 2 quick goals by Tampa. Vancouver with one, and then a couple more chances.
Here comes Johnson looking for another. It's Dalpe from Weiss and Sestino. And Tom Sestino has his first point streak as a Canuck. St. Louis couldn't hold the zone. And the game somewhat resembling that Philadelphia game. Here's Johnson streaking it again. Gets hooked up. And is this going to be a penalty shot? No, just a hooking penalty against Vancouver as the speed of Johnson draws another penalty. But Zach Dalpe has an equalizer after a flurry by Tampa.
Yannick Weber, 2 minutes for hooking. He'll be in the penalty box after hooking up Tyler Johnson, who's streaking in for the breakaway. Possibly lucky there was no penalty shot call. And John Cooper was still upset, asking what happened. As we take a look at that tying goal by Vancouver, it should have been an icing call. No one touched the puck. It was waved off late. Bishop was calling for icing. Vancouver kept playing. We spelled Dalpe. Nice pass to Dalpe, and he finished it off. And John Cooper was looking for an explanation there. I don't know if he got the one he wanted.
Well, Dalpe and Filppula were in the area, but neither touched the puck, and then Dalpe put the finishing touches on the goal that has tied the game. Brad Lazarwick, Shane Heyer are the linesmen tonight. Here is Johnson feeding to Hedman. Ryan Kessler, Chris Higgins, the penalty kill tandem for Vancouver. That one off Hamhuis and up onto the screen.
Well, Hamhuis playing well. I mentioned the penalty kill of Vancouver has been excellent. And John Tortorella talking about it this morning. He says the good play of their penalty kill has offset the power play, which has been struggling. So when you look at specialty teams and the importance, it's nice to have one rolling. You'd ideally like both, but said how good their penalty kill has helped kind of, I guess, mask how bad the power play hasn't come through.
When a face-off in the defensive zone, it's held in by Hedman, and now at the point, Filppula and Johnson. Here's Purcell looking for St. Louis. That was broken up, but Hedman holds it in again. Another chance to clear this time. Canucks don't make a mistake. Final minute, second period. We had 2 Lightning goals in 20 seconds, and then 14 seconds after that, a response from Dalpe. The game is tied. Here's St. Louis. And Filppula trying to create the go-ahead goal. St. Louis with a little kick pass. Now Filppula reorganizes. Filppula plays to the point, and Hedman there. Filppula up the board. St. Louis in front. Purcell, a quick shot. Black just got a piece of that. Nicely set up play. Hedman a blast, and a stick stop by Lack, and it deflects out of play.
Well, Eddie Lack able to keep the puck out of his net. And a little play by Tampa. They keep it down low. A little roll play comes to St. Louis. Quick pass in front. That may have caught iron just off the short side on Eddie Lack. The quick bang play. St. Louis with a great pass. And
right across.
Beats Eddie Lack and then right across the goal line.
From the face-off, Matt Carl moves up. Here's Tanev surrounded. Killorn battles. Carl also in. But the Canucks are up with the puck. Send it to the line. Held in by Gudas. Clock draining here in the period. Do they get another chance? Here with one scores! They do score with 2.6 left. It's Kucherov with a power play blast. And the Lightning will have the lead here in the second period.
Well, the Canucks coach talked about that last game. Details late in a game. This is late in a period, and it's the penalty kill. The Canucks do a great job battling to get this puck out, and it's Higgins who has a chance to clear it, but a soft play to the point. It's kept in by the Lightning. They work it around. Comes to the side, and an absolute rocket as Kucherov just blasts that home top shelf as the Lightning score one late.
1st and 9 for Kucherov, who had 5 for the Russians last year at the World Juniors. He has the go-ahead goal through 40 minutes here. A wild finish to that second, as John Tortorella's expression shows you. Here's Rod. Well, Rod, 2 very good defensive teams usually, but too many mistakes in that second period, and mistakes mean goals usually. And we had 5 of them in just over 8 minutes late in the period.
All of a sudden, everything busted open. Yeah, you mentioned the turnovers. The goalies are what kept it at bay for that first period, but things came to haunt both teams in the second. We had the turnover. That allowed the chance by Panik early on, and then After that, a great play in the neutral zone by Hamhuis created a turnover. Higgins up to Richardson. That opened up the scoring, which opened up everything, but it's been turnovers after turnovers. Another one by Philpool that allowed a chance for the Sedins to come in and opportunity. And then it was Vancouver losing a battle along the wall. Palat able to come down. Nice pass to Johnson. He was able to bury it. And then at the end of the period, probably the most costly, Higgins just not strong enough on the play out of the zone. They keep it in. And Kucherov was able to end up with a puck, and he absolutely ripped one. Top shelf past Lack. And at this point, it could be the last turnover loses.
So we start the third period. The shots 25-20 in favor of the Lightning. They have the lead. We have the scoring chances even at 14 apiece. And interestingly enough, the best players, not necessarily the best players tonight. No shots for Ryan Kesler, Henrik Sedin, or Marty St. Louis through 40 minutes of play. Dan Hamhuis off the boards to the line. And the puck is out at center. And here's Henrik to the attack. Henrik trying to slide it through. And the pass broken up by Matt Carl. Here's Gudas rolling it up the wall. Hamhuis had moved down to hold the zone. Daniel taps it to Henrik. Tried the return pass. And that doesn't work. Out of the point. Hamhuis across. Here comes the shot. Knocked down. Bishop from a standing up position holds that in his skates.
I don't know if I've seen that before. That is not.
That's old school, real old school.
That is real old school. The stand up.
Little Charlie Hodge.
He just had his skates in a V position, the tip from the point. And that's a great act of balance and strength by Ben Bishop. As Hansen right on top when the puck comes down, it's between his feet. And he just puts it in a V position, able to hold the puck underneath. Well, goaltending, try and stop it any way you can.
From the face-off, Canucks win the draw. Santorelli in the corner. Now Higgins crashing in. It'll come back to Tanev. Shot misses. And ricochets to Teddy Purcell. Product of St. John's, Newfoundland. Gets it to Schuster. Up to Philpool, and out come the Lightning. It's been a good line for them tonight. Philpool with Killorn and Purcell. Now Kesler with a pass into the middle. Higgins shot, changes direction. Bishop going one way and the puck sliding wide the other. Purcell tied up there. Higgins causes a turnover. It's Kesler with a hot shot high. On that pass into the slot. Ryan Kessler's had 2 shots, missed the target on both so far tonight. Now they try the jam. Bishop got pushed to the net, but it'll be flipped out by Killorn, and the Lightning get a much-needed change. Back in comes Kesler. Takes a bump from Nate Thompson. Flying in after it is Booth. He's met by Eric Brewer, and Brewer up with the puck. Onto the left side, and J.T. Brown gets it out to center. Richardson will spin it back in, and Brewer will take charge. Barberio rinked wide. The Montreal product sends it ahead. The pass for Kucherov doesn't work. And David Booth will turn back. Out of the net, Bishop. Backhand along the boards, and Barberio loses it. Cassian for Booth. Booth worked over there by Thompson. Kucherov in to help out. It turned over to Cassian. He winds and fires, and that hit traffic in front and ricochets wide. Fans reacting, but no call. As Richardson in front of backhand, and Cassian unable to find the rebound. Another good attack by Richardson. Here's a one-timer. Bieksa has it blocked. Brought down by Kucherov, and out it comes. Kevin Bieksa to the red lines, flips it back in, and the Canucks have been the better team in the opening 3 minutes of the third. Dale Weiss, who has an assist, centers, and that puck tipped wide by Sestito, who gets a chance. Puck still in the zone, and Ben Bishop's going to get a much-needed whistle for the Lightning as Sestito tries to stir things up in front.
Well, that fourth line not only stirring things up, they've had chances. They've got a goal tonight. They've been very effective for the Canucks, and the Canucks have come out in this period ready to play. Kesler with a great chance in the high slot, just sails over top the glove side high. And the Canucks continue to press after that, just throwing pucks towards the net. Booth got hauled down. crowd was looking for a penalty on Barberio, but nothing there. They continue to work. Cassian's been a beast in front of the net all night. Continues to go to the net, the type of area he needs to score goals.
Vancouver 9-0-3 at home against Tampa Bay. An .875 win percentage, the best against any team in the NHL. So the Lightning have never done well here, making their first visit since December 2010. And with the lead here by 1 in the third, a big hit there on Corrado as Cote stepped up on him. Now San Luis to work, a nice pass, has Johnson in flight again, into the slot, and off the skate to Palat. Kept in at the line, and that one bounces right on Eddie Lack. A chop there from San Luis that drew the attention of Lack, who swung his head around and then saw it was a future Hall of Famer, and I guess he figured that might be okay.
Well, JP Cote late right into Big Sestito, the two of them, a big collision at the blue line. And big hit as both players may have been a little shaken up after that one as Sestito comes back to the bench. And we talked about JP Cote, 31 years old, been battling for years and in his 6th game here with the Lightning.
7 years between games in the NHL. Called up right before Christmas, the Christmas present for him, and his first NHL point in that game a week before Christmas. Matt Carl back, Killorn shot off target. It'll come back to this right point, and it's Gudas sending it across. Carl right on, and Lack will smother that.
Oh, look at Matt Carl. He floated one in towards the net, towards Eddie Lack, as Tampa Bay trying here to reverse the flow a little bit as the Canucks had early chances. And one of the things, you're on the road, is about simplifying your game. You don't want to make it too difficult, but at the same time, they don't want to be guilty of just being on their heels here. They got to stay on their toes. If they sit back and give Vancouver too much momentum, they'll find that equalizer.
Makeshift fourth line for John Cooper. San Luis centering Panik and Ryan Malone. Seen limited ice time tonight. Malone in his return. Hedman winds and fires. Rebound. Panik was tied up by Kessler, who prevented the shot. Now Higgins chips it ahead, looking for Santorelli. Back pressure from Panik, who had been sat for a few games by John Cooper, and Panik being urged to be more defensive-minded. Kessler over the line. Panik in deep, takes a hit from Kessler. Schuster up by Higgins. And now Santorelli back to Higgins, a quick shot in front, and Kessler was tied up, and I think that hit Kessler in front of the net as he was dueling with Hedman. Now Malone back down the ice against Tanev. Veteran Ryan Malone bodied off the puck on a strong play there by Chris Higgins. Out at center, it's turned back in, but Kucherov didn't see the Malone had not vacated the offensive zone.
All right, Kessler had an opportunity in front as he comes back to the bench. His line with a great chance. Higgins had the shot. Great play by Santorelli as Kessler parks himself in front of the net. The shot from Higgins to the side, it actually hits Kessler. He's in front of the net trying to provide that screen, but ends up blocking the shot. And seems he's a little shook up. Must have been a play earlier than that.
Kevin Bieksa up the boards, tapped by Daniel Sedin, and at center ice, the Lightning will play it. Matt Carl at the controls, looking for Nate Thompson. That slides the length of the ice, and there's an icing call.
Well, we talked about Ryan Kessler looked a little shaken up heading back to the bench. It happened in zone. He caught a bit of a shoulder from Panik right in the jaw area. A little slow going up the ice. He finished his shift. And right now, Kucherov comes back to the bench and favoring his. So you guys getting banged up here in the third period.
Team starting a critical stretch for both teams. 7 of the next 8 games for the Lightning on the road. Here is a chance, and that off the bar. Corrado off the crossbar, and it ricochets out of play as he comes that close to his first ever NHL goal. Canucks come this close to tying the score. Familiar face back in Vancouver. There's Rick Bowness, the longtime Canuck assistant, now helping John Cooper, handling the Lightning defense. Lots of good coaching stories here. Cooper, the Prince George native, first game as a head coach in the National Hockey League back in his home province. And of course, John Tortorella, who led the Tampa Bay Lightning to the Stanley Cup championship in 2004. Locked in a one-goal game here, just past the 6-minute mark of the third period. Matt Carle, a little outlet, and that'll spring St. Louis as he goes to the attack with Palat. Palat trying to get it back to him. Off the skate, returned it to Palat. Now Carle sends it in front of the net, and backdoor was St. Louis, who couldn't reach it. Out comes Henrik. He's got Tanev with him. Henrik Sedin into the skates of Tanev. And now the Lightning will try and turn quickly. Johnson to the attack. Over the line with St. Louis into his skates. In behind the net, Palat is ridden off the puck by Hansen back there defensively to help out. Yannick Hansen off the boards. Cote holds the zone. Nick Johnson turning. St. Louis one-timer. Eddie Lack read it well. Good stop by Lack. Johnson and St. Louis with good chemistry. St. Louis telling us this morning that he likes the combination, and the fact that he's a right-hand shot really makes a difference for Marty. Now Filppula to work. Valtteri Filppula shifting gears on the backhand. Looking to center, now to the point. Hedman a blast, scores, change direction, and it's in, and the Lightning have a 2-goal lead.
Well, the Lightning are just pressing hard here, and a great job. Hedman just came off the bench, and a great job. We're talking about Filppula, what a game this line has had, along with Teddy Purcell. But a great job. He drives the puck wide, takes it behind the net. Recognizes Hedman just comes on the ice, lets it go, and Killorn up high, the high slot, a little redirection, just enough to change that puck, and it goes blocker's side past Eddie Lack. And Tampa extends its lead to 2 goals.
10th of the year for the Harvard graduate. Hedman and Filppula draw the assists. And for the first time tonight, it's a 2-goal advantage. Mentioned the stretch of game 7 and the next of 8 for the Lightning on the road. They're on a 4-game Western Canadian trip here. And the Canucks will start a difficult stretch. Saturday in LA, a trip to California, back for St. Louis, Pittsburgh and St. Louis, and then back to California again. So it doesn't get any easier. Kucherov walks in through the slot. His shot right on. Rebound. And Lack's got that. 2 big stops for Eddie Lack. First off Kucherov, then Hedman to keep it a 2-goal game.
Nate Thompson was talking about the skill of Kucherov this morning. He said this young player's got some hands. But how about Eddie Lack? Not the first save with the left pad, and then the second save. A great job. Let's take a look at the goal. Killorn, a great redirection there. Able to pop into that high slot. He finds that open area. Eyes on the puck, and just enough there to move the puck blocker side.
It's just the second time in 14 appearances for Lack that he's given up more than 3 in a game, but hard to fault him. Been a loose Canuck team tonight, 31 shots and plenty of scoring chances. That puck's up and out of play, another face-off, and this one will come outside the line.
Well, and you mentioned it, Eddie Lack. Go back to that first period. You can't really fault him. First period, it was all Tampa Bay to open up the hockey game until that timeout was called by Canucks coach John Tortorella, which reversed the flow a little bit.
Here's Corrado sending it in. Bishop out of the net. Will fire it around, and it reaches Corrado. Remember that crossbar at 3-2 by Corrado. And suddenly the Lightning expand the lead to 2 when it was almost tied. Booth out of the corner. Nate Thompson intercepts. And here's Thompson working ahead. And he'll bounce it down the ice. Kevin Bieksa around for Booth. He's had his share of chances tonight. And Cassian takes it, and it's offside. Well, it's bowl season. TSN and TSN2 is your home for NCAA bowl coverage this holiday season. Tomorrow, the All-State Sugar Bowl with Oklahoma taking on Alabama. Coverage gets underway at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on TSN2.
Oh, Vancouver looking to find a way here. Just a little over half a period left to press and try and close this game up by 1 goal and look for the equalize.
Carl behind the net. Up on the left wing for Malone. That's knocked down at center. And a high stick will hold play.
Well, Daniel and Henrik, two of the guys that Vancouver looks for offensively, will lead the way and haven't been very noticeable so far in this hockey game. And good job by Tampa Bay, obviously trying to match up, shut them down, and not give them a chance, as Matt Carl, along with Radek Gudas, have had the challenge of playing against them all night, and they've been up to the task.
Henrik against young Tyler Johnson. Wins the face-off, and Vancouver gets control. Dan Hamhuis on pace for another 30-minute night. There's Henrik on the forecheck. Jansen knocked his man down, but the Lightning up with the puck and get it out to center once again. Here's a rink-wide pass, and Henrik's loose. Walks in, chips it across, and Hansen unable to redirect. Looking for his 3rd goal in as many games. It's their best chance in quite some time. The Sedins and Hansen there, and now they work back in. Canucks looking for a push here. Need one to get within one. And St. Louis intercepts, and he'll start back. 10 minutes into the 3rd period. And an Alex Killorn deflection has made it a 2-goal deficit that Vancouver trying to cut into. Victor Hedman back. They really feel that Hedman's taken a giant step since October. As a dominant defenseman in the league, using the wingspan there to knock it off the stick of Santorelli. Kessler follows up, and it's offside at the line. 5 goals in the 2nd period, 1 here in the 3rd on the deflection by Killorn. That makes it 4-2 Tampa Bay. Nice hand during the break for Sammy Salo, the former Vancouver Canuck. Out of the lineup tonight with an injury for the Lightning. 566 games in Vancouver. 74 goals, 74 playoff games as a member of the Canucks. 39 years of age. And fans showing their appreciation for his contributions here. Old teammate of yours.
He was. Sammy Salo took a little bit of a part. A quick story, in my first game, I was the 7th D-man with Ottawa. He got sick the morning of, and I started against Boston in that opening game of the 2000-2001 season.
And the rest, as they say,
yes,
is history. Puck in past Killorn. And Jason Garrison back to get it. And he is hounded there by Filppula. Well, Terry Filppula's had a good night. Henrik will sweep it across to the near side, and Daniel will try and get loose. Daniel Sedin over the line, 18 points in his last 17 games. The Sedins need some, or the Canucks need some production from the Sedins here with under 9 to go. Back in they come. Corrado testing Bishop. Santorelli looks for the rebound. Out there right now with Henrik and Daniel. Corrado cheats down as G.T. Brown works along the boards. Hedman watching Santorelli. And from the scrum, Hedman up with a puck, a weak flip that is knocked past Henrik, and out come Brown and Purcell. Over the line, Teddy Purcell across, and a one-timer is deflected wide by Nate Thompson. Bieksa off the boards and out. 8:08 left in the 3rd. Kucherov, who scored that big goal at 19:57 of the 2nd. And now a giveaway. And that puck there, Rule, is offside. It looked like it didn't leave the zone, and I'd like to have another look at that. The linesmen usually are right, but from this perspective, that did not look like it came out.
It did not look like it. Did a little miscommunication as Higgins keeps it in, and yeah, good call. Looks like they're just the touch out of the zone.
Boy, those guys are good, aren't they?
They are. At times.
99.99% of the time.
That was a real good call.
Yeah, I really thought they missed one there, but as usual, they're right, and the guy in the catbird seat's wrong. Good thing I don't have a whistle. Here's Johnson. Back to Schuster. Johnson centering it. A lot. Unable to get a shot on, but St. Louis got it. This young top line, well, young with Marty. Schuster's shot is blocked. Where is it? It's in Higgins' equipment, and they'll have to halt play. Well, Scotiabank hockey on TSN, brought to you by Scotiabank. You're richer than you think. .7:12 remaining, third period. Shots 32-26 in favor of the Lightning, who a 2-goal lead. Trying to end a 2-game winless drought as that puck gets flipped up into the Tampa Bay bench.
Well, and John Tortorella has shuffled the lines a little bit. He's put Zach Cassian up with Kessler and Higgins, moved Santorelli up with the Sedins, and Hansen's moved down with Booth and Richardson. So trying to find the right combination that can get them a goal and get them back in this hockey game.
And the fourth line that has a goal, that it has created some chances, as often happens, gets left out down the stretch.
Well, they've been effective for Vancouver.
But that's the plight of a fourth liner, I guess. Gotta lean on the big guys now to try and mount the comeback. Booth overskates a bouncing puck, and Hedman moves it in. Blockered away by Lack. Brad Richardson, who has a goal in the game, gets it to Booth. Here come the Canucks to the attack as Booth swings wide. Fires it around. Corrado sends it back behind the net. Hansen upended. Tried to sell it. No call for it coming as it's flipped out to center. Jason Garrison and Corrado buy some time as well, the fourth line does come back out. Here comes Sestito and Weiss. See if they can stir things up. Around it comes, and Malone to the line. It does come out. Pieksa flipped it back in off Dalby, and offside the call.
Well, you said it, the fourth line. Zach Dalby with his first National Hockey League goal in this game. A nice setup from Dale Weiss and Tom Sestito. They've had some chances in this hockey game. You can go back to that second period where Sestito had a glorious opportunity on Ben Bishop.
Here's Malone flipping it in. Corrado after it. Pieksa lost it as Panik comes up with it. Back to Cote and across, and that errant pass will bring the Lightning out to center. And a pass for Panik is offside. 5:43 remaining in the third. The game is brought to you by GMC Sierra.
Well, Tyler Johnson has had a fantastic game for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's created chances. He's got a goal in this game. Plays with Marty St. Louis, and you have to wonder how much that work ethic of St. Louis has rubbed off on Johnson. He has been very noticeable in this hockey game in the offensive end. Constantly working, constantly going after. Had success in the Western Hockey League and was the AHL MVP last year.
And in familiar territory, used to come here in the summer to play in Vancouver from the age of 9 to 15. Played for the Pacific Vipers, had some summer hockey, and said he was nervous about playing with Marty St. Louis when he first got the call, but he looks pretty comfortable now, doesn't he?
Well, he certainly does, and it was interesting when they made the trade for Ben Bishop. Corey Conacher and Tyler Johnson were kind of the same type of player, and I think because of Johnson, they're able to trade Conacher and You look at Marty St. Louis, you can't ask for a better mold to build a player like Tyler Johnson off. Tyler Johnson, 5'9", 182. Marty St. Louis, 5'8", 180. Both know how to put the puck in the net. And he said, you got somebody to teach him the game, no one better than St. Louis.
Gudas bouncing this down the ice and right on to Eddie Lack. Dishes it off to Hamhuis, one of the best Canucks tonight. Daniel Sedin across it. Here comes Vancouver. Daniel over the line, drops it off. A shot from long range, turned aside by Bishop. Hamhuis holds the zone. Kessler across. So it's Kessler out there with the Sedins right now as John Tortorella loads it up on the ship, looking to get within one. Gudas trying to tie up Henrik. Works along the end boards, and Gudas trying to take it away. Henrik leaning on him to prevent the clearing chance, and the Canucks get it back. Good strong work by Henrik Sedin. Daniel up top. Here's Tanev's shot, and that comes up high. Killorn takes it high, and he'll go to the bench. Shake it up.
Well, it was a rolling puck, and Tanev let it go, and it caught Killorn up high.
And just before that last break, we saw Ryan Malone go off after taking a high stick. Matt Carl in his own zone. And he will flip it out. And that puck bouncing, and it's going to be an icing call.
Well, there's a look at Alex Killorn. He has a goal in this hockey game, the last goal for Tampa Bay, and a good job coming out to the point. We mentioned the rolling puck. Tanev lets it go, and boy, that's a scary when it gets up that high. Good job by Killorn to pull up, takes it in the chest. Looks like he'll be okay.
JP Cote beside him, letting him know a good team job there, and a timeout being called on the icing. John Cooper wants to make sure his troops are rested for this next shift. Of course, John Tortorella took his timeout in the first period.
Well, Gudas and Carl have been on the ice for an extended period of time as two defensemen that have been up against the Sedins all night. Wants to give them a rest here before they take this face-off. Look at the amount of goals that are scored off face-offs. Always important to know your defensive assignments, and he wants to just give them a chance to catch their breath.
And Gudas is really growing into his role in a hurry as a shutdown defender, a guy last year that everybody talked about for his penchant for hitting, and he still qualifies as a rookie and the leading rookie hitter in the league, but some valuable minutes on the defensive side of the puck for the Lightning, more than just the physical game. Santorelli on that face-off. He's out there with Hansen and Higgins now. Here's Chris Higgins off the wall. Kucherov denying the first chance. And out come the Lightning. J.T. Brown dashing through center ice. Along with Nate Thompson puts on the brakes. Threw it at the net off Kucherov, and Black out to pounce on that.
That was a good play by Kucherov all the way back in his own end. He able to come down, pick the pocket of Higgins, move the puck up the middle of the ice, created the breakout, able to come into transition in the offensive zone. And Tampa Bay trying to hold on to their lead. A great little stick, their active stick stayed on top of it, able to push it out to the middle. Good support by J.T. Brown as this line along with Nate Thompson has been very good for Tampa.
Face-off one, and Tanev spanks it down the ice. Barberio back to get it. Pushing it ahead, and quickly out come the Lightning. A pass in center is broken up by Hamhuis, who got knocked down but played it in deep. Brewer sends it around, and Andre Palat, who quietly has had a good night, as the third member of that line with Johnson and St. Louis. Puck flipped to center, and here's Richardson to the line and over. Brad Richardson, who has a goal tonight. Out there with Cassian and Booth. And moving up is Garrison. Garrison, good play to hold the zone for Vancouver. It'll be played back to the point. Weber looks for a shooting lane right on. Bishop turns that aside. Richardson sends it into the corner. And there is Palat, and it's off the glass and out. Palat +1 tonight. He has an assist. And it's offside at the Tampa Bay line. We mentioned that it won't get any easier for John Tortorella. Tough stretch for Vancouver upcoming.
Oh, it's never easy in the Western Conference.
Back-to-back against the Kings and Ducks, and then Pittsburgh and St. Louis here. Next week we'll have the Pittsburgh game on TSN, and then right back to LA and Anaheim to do it once again.
Well, it just shows you how tight this conference is. They were 10-1-2 in December and still just in 6th spot.
And the Lightning trying to take sole possession of second place in the Atlantic with a win tonight. And you see that Eddie Lack has gone to the bench, an extra attacker with just under 2.5 minutes to go. Canucks need 2. Here comes Henrik, deep for Santorelli. Matt Carl is there. Sent around by Gudas and out. Kevin Bieksa will drift it right back in, and 4 Canucks will go after it. Gudas tied up by Santorelli. Daniel trying to pry it out of there. Kessler in support. Gudas in his skates, but the Canucks fish it out. And now it's Santorelli from the corner. Gets it to Henrik. Henrik takes a look, far side. Daniel. Killorn watching him. Back to Henrik. He'll center, nobody there. Comes to Kessler. Santorelli. Watched by Filppula. Daniel shot goes well wide, and now Henrik's got it. Sizes it up, sends it wide of the net. Daniel on the near side. He's taken down by Purcell. Kessler along the boards, but Filppula fished it out, and it'll be sent off Purcell and out. 80 seconds left in the third period. Empty net, Santorelli gets it back for Vancouver. Henrik over the line. Tied up, but Daniel follows. Henrik knocked down. Daniel a shot, and Bishop stopped that. Bump from Santorelli as the puck goes out of play. Well, the NHL on TSN continues on Tuesday with a doubleheader. First up, Islanders in Toronto facing off against the Leafs, and followed by the game we mentioned, the Penguins. Sidney Crosby in Vancouver to take on the Canucks. Live coverage gets underway 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN. Of course, Canada and the Swiss tomorrow. World Junior action. Just over a minute left. Canucks need a late flurry. Final minute, Hansen behind the net. Here's Jannik Hansen. Cycling it back for Cassian. He puts it in front of the net, and it'll be flipped out by the Lightning. Hansen quickly back to get it. Zach Dalpe at the line, and it bounced off him into the Lightning bench with 44.8 remaining.
Well, Zach Dalpe will remember getting his first NHL goal in this game, but it won't be on a win. You got to give credit to John Cooper and his Tampa Bay Lightning. They have done a great job here in this third period. Vancouver came out to start it, but they've done a good job getting those goals, getting the lead, and then playing with the lead. Not giving Vancouver much here late in the third.
Victor Hedman off the boards, and Jason Garrison back to get it. Shots 33-29 for the Lightning. One last push here. Kessler flies in. His backhand ends up on the far side, and there is Andre Palat again. The rookies out. Johnson and Palat here in the dying seconds to protect this lead for John Cooper. Pass for Santorelli broken up. Here's a shot that is off Bishop, out in front of the net. Palat collects it and clears it, and that's going to do it. Well, the Tampa Bay Lightning, with their first regulation win in Vancouver, have beaten the Canucks 4-2 as Ben Bishop makes 28 stops for the win.
Well, it's a big win for Tampa. They talked about coming out ready to play tonight. I don't think Vancouver was. You go back, they weren't emotionally into this game to start. They couldn't find the rhythm, and Tampa Bay took advantage.
So the Canucks record now 23-12-7. And the Lightning now up to 52 points and into second place into the Atlantic. A big night for the youngsters like Johnson and Palat. And a veteran like Valtteri Filppula, Ben Bishop a winner, as the Lightning beat the Canucks 4-2. That's the story from Vancouver. That's hockey coming up next.